Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. We are here for Pop and Politics, the ladies of Pop and Politics. Come on in. We're going to get started. All right. Let's see here. All right, ladies. Again, it is Saturday night. Mind you,
The
Saturday.
days run into each other.
I
They
know.
do. They absolutely do.
Absolutely. So Saturday night, we're coming at you with a special show tonight. We had to come in here and pop on with all the late and breaking news. We are going to talk about, again, the latest in hot topics, news, and entertainment. I'm KJ, along with my amazing co-host. We have Crystal Jenkins.
Hey, guys.
And Shelly E.
Hi.
All right. Join the conversation, as I always say, by leaving a comment on YouTube or Twitter. We will check the comments periodically throughout the show. And don't just comment, subscribe. If you miss us here on YouTube, you can also watch us or actually listen to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You can also watch us on Rumble. Yes, we are on Rumble. We are an independent media, and if you want to support what we do, we also really appreciate our super chatters. We love you guys for helping, and donations go a long way in helping us produce conservative content. Any amount is appreciated. Guys, this is not just a podcast, it's a movement of God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving people that understand there is a target on our backs because we stand for freedom. So together, we stand together and amplify this rallying call for freedom. All right, ladies, let's set it off.
Let's go.
Yes, let's go. We already have comments coming in here. So thank you guys so much. Wow, Tiff, thank you so much for your super chat. Certainly appreciate you. I see you're all the way from Oklahoma. All right.
Yes.
Midwesterners here. Love you guys.
Thank you.
God's country. So love you guys there. All right. So let's see. So first, I want to ask you ladies, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. I feel well. I feel good.
Good. What about you, Crystal?
I don't know. I'm a little sad, but it's all good. You know, I think I don't get to see Trump as much because they got him locked in a courtroom. I know that's by design.
Right.
And so people are not really talking about him as much, which I think is just totally unfair because he's campaigning and then they're trying to kill him with this gag order. So I'm just like really disturbed, but it's all good.
Right. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's going through these court cases that the left has him, this witch trial, he's not actually able to campaign like he should. We should be talking more about his policies and things like that. You're right.
And the court case is sealed, so it's not even like you can watch him. Like they're
all by design,
shutting him out from the world. So I kind of get a little sad when we think about it, but it's okay.
You're right, and that's why we're here to talk about it. Because as you said, just with this court case, they're out with Michael Cohen and left stream media. They're able to try at least to paint a narrative against him, and then he can't even fight back against it because of the gag order.
Yep.
So it's wrong. It's so wrong. Well, we'll start right out with that. Then talking about Biden. One thing that happened this week was Biden went on to the Howard Stern show, and he actually, I think they're saying he made a mistake. He said Howard Stern just organically asked him, about debating Trump, and he said he was going to debate him. Did you guys hear about that? What are your thoughts there? How that unraveled, Shelly?
Well, first, I think actually when he said that, when he responded, Biden himself was saying what Biden wanted to do. His handlers are not going to let it happen. Number one. Number two, I am all for good comedy. So I'm ready for a comedy show. Good laughing is good, even in the midst of these times. I'm ready for it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts here, Crystal, as far as a debate between them?
He's got to say it. I mean, like, what he's going to say? Oh, no, I'm not going to debate. I mean, like, he has to be. You remember he was the whole, take him in the back of the gym and, fight him. Like, he has to say, oh, yeah, I'll debate him. But you know what? He has no intention of debating him. He has no intention of having to defend his record. His handlers have no intention of allowing him to debate him. But it's just something he has to say. What are you going to say? Oh no, I'm not going to debate him. I mean, like that would be on the front page of every conservative media. So he has to be Mr. Tough Guy, but he's not going to debate him.
He doesn't know what he's saying.
Biden on Howard Stern's Day. I'll start with the Democrat from New York.
All right. Well, we'll see. I mean, he said he would. I'm trying to see if I have the clip here where he said it. I hope he does. I mean, goodness gracious. There have been so many precedents set by this election, not good ones actually. In the last election too. I hope they debate, and if not, I do hope that people hold them accountable, specifically independents, for not debating. If he backs down and against debating Trump. It's not democratic. It's not. It really isn't.
You're right. But again, we're not dealing with someone who has their full mental capacity. So again, in his mind, he's thinking he can debate. I don't think it's going to happen because I don't think he's going to be able to, literally, physically not able to, and his handlers are going to cover it up. Now, the precedent that was setting that you mentioned was not good. Again, Trump didn't show up for the primary debates, right? And we talked about that. Some of us, kind of 50-50, we understand why, but that wasn't necessarily a good precedent set either. So a setting effect either for him not to show up for the debates, even though he was way ahead in the polls. So I don't think Biden is going to be physically able to do so.
Yeah.
I don't need a debate. I don't want what I mean, like this man cannot, his record is indefensible. I mean, like it'd be like a bully beating up on a retarded person. I mean, like there's no way.
Oh, I think it would be the best thing for Trump is to debate him, wipe the floor, mop the floor, mollywop that old resident in chief, debate him. I hope and pray that he has the cojones to debate Trump. I really do.
No holds barred. No, just a debate. If he shows up for a debate, then let's have a debate.
Don't hold your breath. Like it would be so bad. Like his handlers are not gonna let him do it. You guys, this man can barely stand up for the State of the Union address, and Trump is on top of his game. Like Trump is on top of his game. He can talk. He knows about the issues of the day. He can talk fast. He's from New York. Like it was bad before, but I'm telling you, like 4 years of this man's disintegration, it just would be bad. I wouldn't want to do that to Jill and his family.
Oh, please. Jill and his family are awful for what they're doing, not only to Biden, it's elder abuse, but to the nation. If anyone is to blame for all of this madness, at least we can say Biden is out of his mind. He's a senile, old, decrepit man. But the way that Jill and the family are still, they don't want to lose their golden goose, and they have pushed this man onto us, trying to push this onto us for another 4 years. I hope she's embarrassed. I hope he gets out there and pees his pants.
They'll never let him do it. Like
won't.
And I mean, like just the fact that he started campaigning now and people are coming out the woodworks, the John Legends, and did you see the Kim Kardashians? And then I saw a comedian actually do a story saying like the Biden-Harris 2024 stickers are coming out, like the bumper sticker. Like there's no way that they're going to throw it away by having a debate with Donald Trump. No way.
No, they're riding on and betting on these trials.
Yeah.
For sure.
that he's convicted.
Yeah, you're right. Well, we will stay tuned. Again, I do hope that they debate. I do. We will stay tuned and see what happens there. So moving right along, I want to move on to this crazy stuff, madness going on. I know we covered it last week, the madness going on campuses, specifically at Columbia University, the anti-Israel, pro-Palestinian madness that's going on, the protests. But now they have uncovered the people behind the protest at Columbia University. So I want you guys to see, these are the people, they are nuts. They are really insane. There's a guy named Kimani James. He's a student leader, leader of the Columbia University's anti-Israeli Gaza Solidarity camp. Who he openly came forward as I guess it's a Zoom video of him openly stating that the Zionists do not deserve to live. And I want you guys to take a look at this. This is pure madness. One second. Let's see here. Let me get this on for you. And then I want to get you to comment. All right. This is him. This is the Daily Wire reporting. Zionists, this is him right here. And take a look at what he says here. All right.
Directors in the Center for Student Success and Intervention.
I'm Kimani James. I use he, she, they pronouns.
Of course.
Zionists in my DM wanting to meet up and fight. I don't fight to injure or for there to be a winner or a loser. I fight to kill. See y'all in New York, January 2024.
Mm-hmm. So that's specifically what we're going to be discussing today. Mm-hmm. Do you see why that's problematic in any way?
No.
Do you think that there's a serious weight in taking someone else's life?
I think there is a serious weight in taking someone's life. And at the same time, I think that taking someone's life in certain case scenarios is necessary and better for the overall world. And so I personally have never killed anyone. Thank the Lord that no one has to put me in that position. Though when Hitler died,
my name is Sasha Lapedaway. I'm one of the associate directors in the Center for Student Success and
Okay, that was him. That's crazy. Is it not? You can see what he said?
Yeah. Well, I want to break it down just a little bit.
Okay.
See, what the left does is they will say a little bit of truth mixed with a lot of lies. Okay. He's right that murdering people is wrong. Killing someone, there's a difference between murder and killing. Killing someone in defense of your own life or the lives of your family members, that's justifiable. So in that little bit, he was actually right in making that distinction. Now, I don't know if he knew that, but he was right. That's the truth part. The part that he's advocating for is to kill people, murder people, I should say, based on their ethnicity or religion. I saw an article today about some Iranian people, I think a couple of people who were murdered, probably because they were on TikTok and they were, the woman maybe was too revealing for Iranian standards, and another guy, another TikToker or whatever. But the same stuff that Kimani, however you pronounce his name, is spewing, he, she, and they, go to Iran and Palestine, and all three of you will be put to death.
Yeah. I want to get your thoughts on what he said, Crystal.
Yeah, there's nothing true about what he said. I got pushed back, Shelly. Like, this dude needs to be picked up, and he, she, they needs to be dropped off in the middle of Palestine. Like, these people are just in their cush Western world. They're so pussy. Like, he's sitting there as a man with a penis talking about, I didn't really and kill. You won't kill anything. You won't kill a fly. You are a straight up female. And I wish people like that would be called out and like harassed and be sent over to where you think is so great. And it's always got to be the blacks. Blanchard called them the Negrostinians. Like the Negrostinians, it's always them. You sitting up here talking about a war that you don't know anything about. You don't know anything about anything that's going on over there. You probably haven't left your suburban neighborhood or your boyfriend's house. Like you just shut up. Like shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. And why is it always black?
It's the blacks.
Oh, I don't agree with you there.
Yeah, I think, remember when we had Chad O. Jackson, I think, and we asked him that about why were Black people specifically seemingly chosen to carry this banner of Marxism, communism, all kinds of foolishness, right? And I believe this long as well, that because of slavery, these I don't know, the pundits, if you will, or the manipulators use that issue, that challenge on American stain to manipulate and expand it for the Black people, and they just went haywire with it. It takes every shape and form. So I do think that's why. So now you have Black people, like you said, Crystal, these relatively well-off Black people, they go to Columbia and colleges in California, Emory in Atlanta. They go to these elite institutions, right? Upwards of $100,000 a year, and they have the audacity, the unmitigated gall and ingratitude to say and link on that they are oppressed and that they are, linking with the other oppressed people of the world. Bull freaking crap. This is utter insanity.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And again, we continue to see, as you mentioned, a lot of these Black gay people, Black Marxists, BLM are at the forefront of these destructive movements. And we know we've been talking about this for a while now, how it's all Marxism.
And they're
Marxist. Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to make their insignificant lives significant. Like, I mean, you have to do that when you've accomplished absolutely zero. And I love the Blacks that love to say, I am my ancestors' wildest dreams. No, you are your ancestors' wildest freaking nightmares.
Right.
You have literally everything that you say that they've worked for and all the slavery that they've overcome. You now, with your faggoty Columbia mouth, I'm stealing that from A Few Good Men, from your faggoty Columbia mouth, sit there and talk about and support something that you have no clue what's going on, but the things that you can solve in your, like, we send you to this institution to make our world, to make America better. You can actually solve it. You don't do it because why? You can stand up and be significant and Palestine and whatever about the Jews and feel like you're somebody. Newsflash, sir, you ain't nobody but a gay bottom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And you know what I find also, interesting or fascinating is that how these oppressed movements, they just pick up like fire. Literally, I've read that they have students in Australia and some in Europe. This is an international movement now. It's like how everything not good is picked up and it just goes around the world so quickly. And these things are started by these ingrates, these wealthy, relatively wealthy compared to the rest of the world, ingrates who are just basically suckling everything out, the life out of our country. They do nothing. They have nothing. They own nothing. They produce nothing, but yet they can go around the world with these foolish, harmful, if you will, movements claiming to be oppressed. All over the world, these things are happening. And how quickly this is. Everything evil and bad happens so much quickly, more so than something good.
And we know why. We saw how, first it started with Biden and Obama. And now they're doing it in the Biden administration as well. They're going over to African countries, these Latin countries, South American countries, and they're trying to push this LGBT. They're pushing this Marxism. Then we see it over in our schools. We saw the colleges, and they're also pushing it in K through 12. trying to push this type of stuff, get them early. And I'm so happy, podcasts like ours and you guys, our community here, are pushing back against it. We have to continue to stand up against it, because this is their plan. This was the Marxist communist plan many years ago, and unfortunately, a lot of it has come into fruition.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
I've said before that President Trump was not supposed to have been elected in 2016, right? Because that slowed down their plan. Now they're making up for it under the dear elect that we have in the White House, because the plan was supposed to continue. He put a wedge in it. They have to do double time now to do more damage in shorter period of time. And they're trying to use everything that they can to throw at President Trump and the country by and large to stop him from getting into the White House again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do want to go ahead, Crystal.
No, go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I want to acknowledge we have a super chatter here. Jude says it's sad that some of these Hamas-loving students will be in government in the future. God help us all.
Amen.
If we even have a future, if we have a government in the future that's worth keeping, like if we have a country that we can preserve.
Right.
That's what Benjamin Franklin said. That's what Benjamin Franklin said.
And Donald Trump, like, unfortunately, he also awoke lions. So we're fighting this fight. It is good versus evil. It is no longer, my preference. And so when you see people, or you think about people like Barack Hussein Obama, who I voted for him twice, and I absolutely adored him, but I didn't quite understand what that meant for my future and the future of my kids. And people like me are waking up every single day. They're melanated. They are like, they're women, they're men. And you guys, we got to keep this going, because we're not going to have a country.
No, we're not. All right, we have another super chatter here that I have to acknowledge here. Abraham. Hey,
Thank
Abraham.
you.
He says this guy represents everything Hamas despises: gay, Black, American, Western. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely, Abraham. You are always right on target with your comments.
In other words, we call them useful idiots.
Yeah. I want to, if we have time, ladies, I'd like to pop into the White House Correspondents' Dinner. It is on right now. And let's just see, because the media has led to such just terrible things within our country. It has led us down a road of degeneracy. They are an enemy of the state, as Trump once said. They have become enemies of the state. And I want to just pop in just to see what nonsense they are actually spewing. Let me see here. Do you guys mind if we... Okay, 1 second. Let me see.
Let's go.
All right.
I saw Lara Trump getting ready for it. She's so fly.
Times will say a border deal continues to evade Congress, and the Post is like, these Mexicans are taking my stuff.
Yeah, right. And half of these comedians they have on here aren't even funny.
They're not funny.
There are so many incredible individuals here tonight. Lara Trump is here tonight.
Let's see what they say.
Okay, I got one woo. She recently released a cover of the song I Won't Back Down. Upon hearing it, Tom Petty died again.
Oh my God. This stuff falls flat. It's so flat. It's not even funny.
I can't believe I'm saying this to a member of the family, but maybe stick to politics?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, drink some water.
Yeah. With your
Senator Bernie
cobweb
Sanders
mouth.
is here because he's not the type to pass up a free hot meal.
So creative. What?
In general, there are so many hardworking, influential senators and Congress people here tonight. And I just want to say, on behalf of everyone I know, stop emailing us.
All right, I'll jump out because this guy is just awful.
Yeah.
He's awful. I mean, they own Hollywood, you know, and they can't find anybody better than that. All right, so let me go on here. I want to Jude, we have another super chatter.
Oh no,
Thank you
Crystal.
again, Jude.
He says,
I
"Oh no,
did.
Crystal, you voted for Obama twice.
I
was never
did.
impressed with him as much as many people were."
I don't know, man. I was stuck to it. And to be honest, like up until last year, I was still an Obama fan. Like I was I mean, like I thought that conservatives, even though I was a conservative, I thought conservatives were being tough on him. And I was like, oh, y'all just saying those things, but he did a good job. Like, I'm just saying this just not understanding. And once I started understanding it was actually when the war broke out and I started reading about his Iran deal and his allegiance to the people over there. It was when I started like really, really disliking him and making sure that I call him Barack Hussein Obama because like he just doesn't love his country. He doesn't love us. He doesn't care about us.
No, yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't.
No, they don't. Again, let me repeat the 13 famous words. We are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America. I don't know what people thought fundamental transformation meant or what it didn't mean, but I know most of that crowd in that mall, they cheered. So
Yeah,
you're
right. All right, so we are moving right along. We'll peek back into this White House Correspondents' Dinner throughout the night, but moving right along to our next topic. So Jason Whitlock, if you guys don't know, is on Fearless. He's on the Blaze TV's Fearless with Jason Whitlock. We have a kind of like a love-hate relationship with him. Mostly love. Sometimes
mostly love.
Disagree. But But he recently came out with a scathing critique of a football player. I believe this is a football player. And I want to get you guys' response to this. All right, let's see here. Okay. One second. All right, here we are. All right, there he is. And he's talking about Tyrese Haliburton. But apparently Tyrese had some incident with racism, or someone hurled a racial slur at him. And this is Jason Whitlock responding to it. Let's take a look here.
Dima? Oh, okay. You just good.
1 second. Here we are.
This has been my little brother in the stands the other day was, called the N-word. And so like, it was important for us as a family, like to just address that. And that was important for us to talk about because that just didn't, I didn't sit right with anybody in our, in our family. And so
informing the press that, oh, my brother got called the N-word in the stands. That blows my mind. I couldn't imagine telling my mama, daddy, someone called me the N-word. Ice Cube? Who? Dr. Dre? Who? Tupac? Who? Oh, some white boy called you the N-word. Did you beat him up? Oh, okay, you didn't? You just walked, you kept it moving? Good. We just move on to something important.
This has been my little brother.
All right, so that was it. So as you can see, he's saying you're making a big to-do of nothing, and I want to get you guys' thoughts on that. Shelly, what are your thoughts on how he responded, and what would you have done? I mean, if that happened to you.
So again, I didn't see the whole interview, so I don't know what question he was asked to make that response. So I don't know if the press asked him something about if they heard somebody calling names from the stand or what. I don't know. So on that, I can see that part. Maybe he responded to that question. Jason Whitlock, again, this 50-50 love hate. I don't know. because I do know that Black people will come home and say that so-and-so called somebody a nigger. I do know that, right? To Jason's point, he wants to know, well, you know, you listen to all these rappers, they call each other niggas. It's irrelevant. It probably is. In the whole scheme of things, it is irrelevant. But I don't know the context in which he responded to that question. For me, call me a nigger. Call me Uncle Tom. Call me Aunt Tom. Call me bougie. Whatever you want. I don't give a goddamn. I lose no sleep over it. It goes under my NSL policy. No sleep lost.
All right. What are your thoughts there, Crystal? You know, it's 2024. I wanted to get your thoughts on how you think your response to Jason Whitlock's response to Haliburton, and then if you were in that scenario, is that something that still bothers you in this day and age?
What I'm gonna say to Mr. Haliburton, first before I go to Jason Whitlock, I'm gonna say, just like I say to all of these Blacks out here lately, that never happened. Like, y'all just making it up. There's 273,000 people at this game. I just Googled. Like, you didn't hear some random person call you the N-word. They don't know who you are. Like, the white people I know really, really, like, in front of hundreds and thousands of people and nobody witnessed it. You can't get a witness that say, yeah, I heard him say it. Like, you're just making it up. Get a life. And Jason, you are so grown. Why are you lending attention to? He added no value to it. Did you beat him up? Beat him up for what? Why would you take that home? Jason should have literally looked at that camera with his platform that he has and says, stop making it up, y'all. This is not happening. You're not in a game with 200,000 people and you scream, nigga, and nobody sees anything. Nobody, because he would have to do it loud for him to hear it, right? For you to hear it.
He said his brother was in the stands, and his brother
That's what I'm telling. For his brother to be in the stands,
right,
to hear it. First of all, you can't hear the person sitting next to you. Was the guy?
No, I think he was saying his brother was called it.
What I'm saying is the person sitting next to you, you can barely hear what they're saying. So if his brother is being called this, it would have to be loud enough that somebody say, not cool, man. Why would you say that? Blah, 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 blah. It will have to be something like, stop making it up. And us as conservatives, we need to laugh at these people. We don't need to lend it any credence, any attention. Oh, you got called the word nigga. Oh, whoop-de-whoop-de-doo. Did you lose any money that day? Like, we need to really, first of all, make sure that, like, we heard it, because it usually didn't happen, and then just be like,
yeah,
really?
Yeah. Let me go ahead. I agree with you somewhat. I think that both of you. I think that his response is standard. Jason Whitlock. Kind of dry and kind of just. But I mean, to me, in this day and age, when you have it being pushed out by us on rap, on culture, Black people use the N-word interchangeably, and then you have some on the left, but yet they still get upset when it is used as a racial slur. To me, I mean, I still take it in a derogatory manner. However, it's not anything, to me, at this day and age, different than somebody calling me, a bitch or whatever. And I say that because, I mean, I don't like that about it, because I do think that it should hold some level of it should be something that's just nasty and seen different. But Black people use it so much for one another that it's just like we totally just pretty much made a mockery, in my opinion. We made
absolutely.
What made me laugh, y'all, is one of our comments said, and then he yelled, "This is MAGA country."
Yeah, right. Like Jesse Smollett.
Like, I agree with you that it's a dirty word, but we are Americans, and that is an absolute statement. I do not agree to a group of people being able to use any word endlessly and another group not being able to. So white people, use all you want. Hopefully I don't do anything that make you call me that. If I do, when you call me that, I promise you I'll live. And we need to like that's when you know the word has no power.
Exactly.
Is when you can let it go. That's the same thing with white people and racism. Like when they call you a racist, okay, fine, I'm a racist. Like there's so many words that are hurtful and that are painful, or you know, you don't want to be called, like you say, you don't want to be called a bitch, or you know, I don't want to be called, you know, that. But we live in a world where freedom of speech is what it is.
Exactly. And look, to your point, KJ, not just the word nigger or bitch. There are the left in general, they are masters at word manipulation and overusing words so much that they don't have any meaning or significance anymore. And then add to that again, the blacks, like Crystal says, the blacks have been used to basically, you know, go at each other, right? Calling each other these names. So then it loses all kinds of significance, right? There was one time when black people would not use the word nigger towards each other, especially not in a derogatory way. And like I said last week, my grandmother would say the word nigger, but it was never meant just only for black people. Nigger was based on how you acted, right? Or how you showed your ass, my grandmother would say, especially in public, like you had no home training. So we have taken it, we have made it, you know, cool and faddish in the rap songs and with a certain rap or subculture, if you will. Why not? Don't we want to have people imitate us? You know, they said, you know, the best way to tell somebody you like him or her is to imitate them. So now the people are imitating what we do with the word nigger.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's sad, but it's just like we as a culture do so many things to me that just don't make sense.
I agree.
Yeah. I want to acknowledge some of our super chatters again tonight. Oh my gosh. Kimber says we must always support Israel.
Thank you, Kimber.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm right there with you. I'm one that's loyal to my friends, loyal to my allies.
Yep.
So, and they are one. So let's see here. We have Pep Giorgio. He says, "Welcome to the Republican Party, ladies. You're all looking lovely tonight. Keep up the good work."
Yeah, we vote Republican. Pop Giorgio, we vote Republican. Well, I like to say I vote Republican, but I am a MAGA, Make America Great conservative. Republicans have proven to be such a disappointment. Like such a disappointment.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. We have Jude. Hey, Jude. Says, I agree with you, Crystal. Unfortunately, too many blacks are gold medalists in the Victim Olympics.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Manufacturing racism where it doesn't exist.
So true.
Right,
So
Jude?
true.
You're so right.
It's so true.
Yeah. So, it is a shame. And speaking of manufactured racism, wait until you guys hear this story. So this is a local story here right out of Baltimore that actually got national news. Here, Pikesville High School. A Pikesville High School employee was arrested this Thursday for allegedly creating AI-generated tape of the school's principal making racist remarks. So this was big news here. Like this happened maybe a month ago, maybe almost 2 months,
almost 2 months, something like that, a month or two ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago where it was all over the news where this high school here. Do you guys, anyone want to explain the story?
Yeah, so it was a high school, I think in Pikesville, Baltimore County, where the principal was recorded. Allegedly recorded talking about black, I don't know the quote, but black students are dumb and just his students basically, they're not able to read and things like that. When it first came out, one of my first questions was, did he lie?
He didn't lie.
Did he lie? That was my first question, right?
Kelly, hold on. He said they can't test their way out of a paper bag.
Yeah, it was bad.
Right. Did he lie? That's number one. And then he was talking, he made the comments on the comments on the recording were directed. Some of them were directed at the Jews in the neighborhood, and some derogatory comments. Well, people jumped on it, whether for or against, true or not, they jumped on it, of course, because anytime you say anything quote unquote racist, Black people are going to jump on that bandwagon, even if they have done zero investigation. They don't know any other facts. All they know is some white person was accused of saying something racist against Black people.
Yeah. It was major news here. It was big. I mean, a lot of the African American community was all up in arms about it, and well, it turned out to be a Jussie Smollett hoax.
Wow.
The athletic director actually used some type of AI technology to mimic this principal's voice, which the principal, of course, was white, to make a big issue. Go ahead, Crystal. What were you?
KJ, what color was the athletic director that lied? I have a question. What color was he?
Black.
He looked like us. He looked like us.
He was one of the Blacks.
He looked like us.
One of the Blacks.
Yeah.
Race hoaxes by Black people have been going on for a while. I don't know if you all remember, like the Jenna 6. That was like a number of years ago. If racism is so rampant that they have to make it up. Not to mention Jussie, what the Dave Chappelle called Juicy Smollett.
But my thing is that you won't use your gifts and your talents to make Pikesville High School better. You won't use your gifts and your talents to help those Black children test their way out of a paper bag. Your words, not his.
Right.
But you will use it to frame poor little white guy. Right. And that's why I said, like, with the people that Blacks are fighting, they're not fighting the Kim Kardashians. They're not fighting the Nancy Pelosi's. They bow to these people. They're not fighting the AOCs. They bow to them. You're fighting old Joe Schmo down the street. You fighting the Derek Chauvins, the people who come and show up when your boyfriend is knocking you upside your head or when you hear gunshots in your neighborhood. You're fighting those little old white people that don't have nothing to do with nothing.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah. Go ahead. I was gonna say one of the things. I mean, beside this thing, like you said, Crystal, the guy looked just like us, right?
Yeah.
And those really were his words that he was projecting onto this man. Black people, or some of them, are so obsessed with racism, and they want to hold white people responsible for everything that's wrong in their lives. Now, what I don't, being an American, I don't like it when people are accused of something and there has been no investigation, but this man was removed from his job.
Wow.
Removed from his job while the investigation was taking place, right? I don't know if he lost pay or not, but he lost the position, at least temporarily. So the people whose reputations are being ruined, they're the ones who get removed instead of being given the benefit of the doubt until the investigation comes to full fruition. Thankfully, it has come and they have the right person. But look at the damage this has done to this man.
Yeah, and I haven't seen it a single person on my timeline talk about the lies that they told on this person. So everybody was sharing the fact that he said this, but like you said, when the truth comes out, no one shares that. And so this poor guy, his reputation has been ruined, and nobody's coming out and saying, "Hey, the Blacks, they lied." Nobody's saying that.
How do you restore that? I mean, I'm just saying in general, how do you restore your reputation? Because like you said, a lie can go around 6-7 times faster than the truth.
Yeah,
it's terrible. It is. They did a press conference on it here. Take a look at this.
The recording contained traces of AI-generated content.
He made the whole thing
up. A major development in the viral and racially charged audio recording that led to the removal of a Baltimore County high school principal earlier this year. Good evening, and thank you for staying with us. I'm Mary Bubala. Tonight, we are learning some new details on the arrest and the alleged motive behind this fake recording.
What's the motive?
Alexa Ashwell joins us live in studio with
I don't like white people.
Yes, Mary, investigators believe this was
That's
a
the
plot
motive.
for revenge using artificial intelligence.
Wow.
Baltimore County Police say the principal, once in question, told investigators he believed the athletic director was targeting him. This investigation revealing just that in a way officials say the state has never seen before.
I seriously don't understand.
Tonight, a Pikesville High School principal vindicated.
The recording was not authentic.
And the school's athletic director now off the job and facing
Don
charges.
Leslie.
It's been determined the recording was generated through the use of artificial intelligence technology. Through their investigation, detectives alleged Mr. Darian, who was the athletic director at the high school, made the recording to retaliate against the principal who had launched an investigation into the potential mishandling of school funds.
Baltimore County Police Chief Robert McCullough announcing charges against Dazon Darian. The 31-year-old is facing 4 charges, including stalking, retaliation, disturbing school operations, and theft. This investigation dating back to January of this year.
Wow. Wow. So there you have it. So, but to me, the deeper issue to this is the fact that they believe that they can do this, and this will, in fact, get some. The weaponization of race is so crazy right now, and he did that because he knew he would create a large pushback.
Yeah, it's the same. It goes along on a local level with this oppression, victimization mentality, this model. The colleges have, expanded it, but on the local level, it's here. We have said before that we know we're Black, right? But we know there are plenty of Black people who literally are obsessed with white people and their projections of racism or oppression from white directed towards Black. This white principal, and I'm just saying white principal just for the sake of this argument, this white principal was probably the best thing those students needed at that school. He probably has done a lot more for those students, helped them in all kinds of ways, making sure they had, a really good education. But you have this idiot who probably maybe is stealing the funds. And because he was investigated, so that means that the white man was really looking out for how the money is being managed to help the children that he's claiming is racist towards him.
Yeah. And a good amount of Black children. A good amount of Black children. Because Pikesville High School has a large Black population.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think my bigger issue, right, is that people like that, we see these people all the time. Like these people are just complete and utter degenerates in the Black community, but embraced by the Black community. And then you won't hear Roland Martin talk about it. You won't hear any kind of race hustler come to like, hey, you guys, this is not what we're about. Like even with the Jussie Smollett situation, like you won't get the so-called Black leaders to say, hey, yo, this is not what we're about. And if you're doing this, like you're not invited to the cookout, but you'll ostracize the people like Candace Owens. You'll ostracize the people like us. You'll ostracize people who don't agree with you politically. And embrace this kind of behavior. That's why we always say, but I know I in particular, I don't want to speak for you guys. Like, I don't want to be a part of this. I don't want to, like, if this is Black, no, thank you. I'll be a child of the light. Like KJ said on her podcast the other day, she was like, I'm a daughter of the light. I'm not Black. Like this is crazy. I'm so embarrassed, and I'm embarrassed for my brown skinned children that get associated with this. Like,
I said it, like I said, like you mentioned, I have a podcast, guys, check it out. 8:30 show here on YouTube. We talk about pop culture and politics from a biblical perspective. But I talked about that. I don't want to be associated with racial characterization. I am not Black. I am a daughter of the King, daughter of the kingdom. That's what it is. From a Christian point of view, faith point of view. That's what I said, because this type of we can't we cannot identify with this community any longer based on our values. Our values
are not the same.
It's not the same anymore.
They're not the same.
I love
that
that
you said something. For decades, literally, I have been telling people when I sign paperwork or they ask you the demographics, I would write in human American, right? People, oh, you're not black. You don't want. I'm a human American. That and I sometimes I would say I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. That's who I am. I just happen to be in a brown skin body. Okay, so what? There are millions of people who in all kinds. I think God had enough creativity and enough, I'm going to call it holy diversity, to know what he was doing when he made all of us look however we look. In whatever skin we're born in. I love that. That's the best kind of diversity. And it has nothing to do with just your skin. That's creativity and diversity to me. But ultimately, he made us human. And so that's what I've been saying for years.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, it's also a testament to the arrogance and also the dishonesty. Like, there's not a single thing that we did to make our skin brown. Like, not a single thing. I couldn't imagine it up. I couldn't request it. My mom couldn't request. Like, there's not a single thing that I did to make my skin brown, but yet and still we lean on that and we showcase that. But we're the only dum-dums, or I say blacks are the only dum-dums that actually do that. You don't see Asian people like talking about, I love my eyes, chink here. Like, nobody does this foolishness but the blacks. You don't see other cultures doing like praising something that they had nothing to do with.
Absolutely. Exactly. We have to acknowledge another super chatter here. Thank you so much. Let's see
again. It's Jude again.
Yes, Jude.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jude. Again, he says, have you ladies heard the report that the Biden White House is secretly preparing for a transition in January, meaning they are expecting to lose? I really hope this is a true story. Wow, I have not heard about that.
I haven't heard that, but I will say this. Every administration, when it comes up election time, you always have a transition team in place, period. That's standard, whether it's Republican or Democrat. You have a transition team already in place and you work on a plan if the results don't go your way. That's standard.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping
that's some foretelling of what's to come.
Sure.
I doubt it, though. I mean, it's still early. It's still very early in the campaign season. So we will see. We certainly will see. But you guys brought up some really good points. You ladies did. And I agree with all of them. I certainly do about this. And again, it's been crickets from the left after this has come out to be a lie. Yeah. And so, because they don't care. They don't care. This man, they should be broadcasting how this athletic director is accused of stealing, from the children. This is the children's money. This is money to go towards the school. We don't hear a peep, not a peep.
No. Yeah, but white men.
Yeah, he was accused of stealing, but yet he was allowed to remain in his job, as far as I understand, right? While the investigation, the principal who had lies really created, AI created, he was removed, albeit temporarily, I'm hoping, but he was removed while the investigation went on. Right then and there, I mean, even the system that the school system uses already has some inherent bias in it, because these kind of Black people know when you accuse someone of racism, particularly white people, everything else stops and it only focuses on you.
Yeah. And poor white men. I mean, like, I just don't know how they, like, people are not talking about the fact that white men are committing suicide more. Like, their health is declining, their testosterone levels, they're not having babies. Like there is a serious attack on white men, and white men are American. So I don't, I'm not saying, I'm thinking about, just from the American standpoint. And, it's just unfortunate because we wouldn't, we wouldn't allow that to happen to us. I see people now talking about the Black maternal health crisis, whatever the heck that means. And nobody's talking about the crisis when it comes to white men and the attack on white men.
Yeah.
So do you know what? I mean, I'm not going to get into that discussion as far as that, but what I find is interesting is that all of these issues are important in and of themselves, but they have been so politicized and racialized that they are stacked. Oh, because you're Black, you get more attention, or you're white, you get less attention. They're all important in their own sphere, right?
Yeah.
So again, the left has politicized it, and they make everything primarily about race. So the races, again, they will try to divide us and put us against each other any way they can.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. One, the reason why I brought that up is because one is by its own doing. I mean, if you want to talk about the Black maternal health crisis, and I'm not going to, but it has everything to do with lifestyle. I mean, like, just let's keep it real. Black maternal health care has to do with Black women and their lifestyle. But truly, the issue with the white men is society, like culture.
Right.
Like we are really attacking a subset of our community that built our community. And I don't know how we survive without the success of our men, period, but especially our white men, who I think are like 40% like of our population. I don't know how much they are, but large subset of our population.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I do want to acknowledge we do have some additional super chatters here. You guys are amazing. I really mean it. We really appreciate this. So let's see here. We have Labs Swai is back again.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Do you think there will be a fracturing of the U.S. if Joe Biden Dems win in November? Do you think the Says will continue to pushing their agenda?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. And Crystal, what are your response to that?
Sorry, I was looking up the percent of white men. They're 31%. Sorry. But yeah, I think I'm praying that we don't have to answer that question. I'm praying that Joe Biden does not win in November, but if he does, you guys, we have lost our country. I'm telling you, we're not.
I agree. I'll answer it. I'll answer a little more directly. If he wins, I agree with you. We've lost our country, but I do believe if President Trump is convicted and or goes to jail, there will be a civil war in this country, even before the election.
Oh, you think?
I've been saying that for
I don't know, you guys. So I used to think that too, but I think January 6th, they really tried to teach MAGA a lesson. President Trump specifically asked for protesters to come outside of the courthouse in solidarity, and nobody has come. Like, it's almost like MAGA is terrified that they'll be set up again, that they'll be set up and their lives destroyed. So that's what they do. Like in the whole communist, one of our producers always brings up the color communist and common sense, and that's what they do. They have castrated MAGA. Like they have really silenced us, and I'm hoping that something turns around, that we find our voice again. And
hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Don't get me wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But I remember saying, and not just me, but other people, I've said even last year, maybe about 2 years ago, that as this 2024 election season comes, the left is going to find any reason to stir up something during the season, during this election season. And I think it has already started. I know I don't know if we're talking about this, but the Black man that I think it was in Illinois that just died, he was in police custody. I think this is already starting with these protests across the campus, across the country. I think this is starting during this election season on purpose for the summer of riots again.
Yeah, but MAGA, like Republicans have turned their back on MAGA. Like, I mean, like the Republicans in the House have turned their back on the Make America Great crew. They've turned their back on Donald Trump. And so I think that just human nature, we've kind of backed off. I'm hoping that we find our voice. I'm hoping we're going to need to.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I do like the fact that for the majority, or for the most part, the Republican Party, or I'm not even gonna say the Republican Party, conservatives have been the party or the people that have decided not to go crazy for the most part. And I think that gives us the moral ground. We do need to push, and get out the vote, talking to our friends, family, amplifying voices like ours, sharing, within on social media, podcasts like ours and things like this to get out the vote. If we have a massive amount of people come out and click for Donald Trump in November, we will prevail.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I know people are talking about the election and things like that, and the media bias and things like that. But when you look at the individual elections, or individual, not elections, but
the polls,
our side is not turning out. The
Right.
left is amplified. They are turning out in droves, and we know that Trump drives them to the polls. We need to stop with this complacency and get out and vote. Get
Right.
out and vote. That's what we have to do. I do, before you guys chime in on that, I want to acknowledge we have another super chatter here that I do have to acknowledge. Mountain Goddess says, "Thank you for your beautiful, thoughtful commentary. Many blessings to you."
Thank you.
My God. Thank you so much for hanging in with us and watching tonight, Mountain Goddess. All right. Yeah, but that's my thoughts on it.
They've got us to hate Trump.
Yep.
Like they've got us to like be like an outsider, and it's so crazy because they'll hold Trump to like these unrealistic standards, even conservatives. Like I'm like, like really, like you're holding him to standards that you don't hold other politicians or anybody else, and he wasn't a politician when these things happen. Like, and conservatives, they've always made it like a popularity contest. Like you can't say that you like Trump, and if you do, you can't hang out with the I think the word they use now is anti-intellectual. Oh, you're anti-intellectual, and nobody wants to be called anti-intellectual. It's like, oh my God, no, I'm smart. And they've just masterfully, even people who are conservative in their own lives, people who are, Christians, believers, they've gotten them to hate this man who is fighting for us. And I don't know how you turn that tide. Like you said, KJ, they like people are mum's the word when it comes to Trump. And I just I get so angry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I'm right there with you. And, like you mentioned, when we had Chad on, Chad O'Jay, he brought up a good point, especially within the Black community. I don't know that we're really conservative. And when I say we, I mean the people with the Black community as a whole, because, the things we are letting our children do, the things that we are allowing in schools and within the church, that is not traditional. It is not modest. It is nothing conservative about it. Not just the way we're voting. And so when you think about the things that we are letting happen in culture, that are not modest, not traditional, it's not conservative. I don't think the community as a whole is conservative. Like,
no, we're not.
We're not conservative, but what I will say to push back on Chad, and I did push back on him, is Trump is what we got. And so people like him, people like the Jason Whitlocks, people like the Tucker Carlsons, like support the one we got. Mm-hmm. Like stop acting like, oh well, I don't really think that politicians are the answer. I agree. Politicians are not the answer. You guys know that I love Donald Trump, but God will still be on the throne if he wins or he doesn't win. However, we got two choices.
Exactly.
So say it say it and say it loud and say it proud. So when I'm talking about this, I'm talking about even white people, like a lot of conservative white people just won't say that they're supporting Trump, afraid that they won't get invited to the party, won't get him. And it's just so weird to me.
Look, Crystal, we talked about it a little bit with Chad, but again, we said this before. I certainly have. This is at least my thinking, is that when you have two choices like we do in America, right, for president, voting for if you want to call Donald Trump evil, okay, fine. But the lesser of two evils is still better than having more evil. Less evil is always better. If those are your only two options, choose the lesser version. If that's how you want to characterize the man. I don't think he's evil, but I'm okay going along with that logic. But when you have people, even on the right, on our side, who have this ideal of perfection or perfectionism, that every human being, every candidate has to fit and check off every box that they believe it should be the standard. That's just not reality. And I hope we don't stay home like we've done before, like KJ's saying. We need to vote. We need early voting, mail-in voting, however you're going to do it, however it's legal to do, vote.
Yeah. I want to acknowledge Jude again. My gosh, Jude, we appreciate you tonight. He says, I don't think MAGA has turned their back on Trump. It's just that the security around the courthouse has been so high that people can't even get close. Trump has been complaining about that.
Yeah, for sure. No, I don't think that they turned their back on them. I just think we're just afraid,
Yeah, he says here, Shelley, I hope you're wrong, but I still think their ultimate goal is to make Trump ineligible to be elected. I don't think they'll actually sentence him to jail because of the consequences.
Jude, I hope I'm wrong too.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jude, for your super chat. But I want to respond to what you said. You guys said there. I think it's, these people are just diabolical. They just are. I forgot what I was going to say. What was your last comment, Crystal? It was something you said I was going to respond to.
We were talking about the Donald Trump and how God, what were we talking about? Look, I done lost.
About the choices for the election. Like when
you have the choices.
You only have two people to choose from for the presidential election.
Right. That's right. Yeah. There are only two people to choose from. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So I don't think it's not necessarily a large amount of people saying that they're not talking or speaking up about Trump because they don't want to go to the parties and they don't want to be canceled or blacklisted. I think that is a true for some. But you know what? I think it's more so a lot of people do not realize what is going on.
Yeah.
This week when I for the first time, because I don't usually push my other podcasts on social media, I sent it out on my personal social media, and so many people reached out and was like, they went to the page and then they were like, oh my God, I had no idea this was going on. And this was because on my other page, I talk a lot about, what's going on in the schools and with our children and this whole gender ideology, DEI being pushed, things like that. And they were like, I had no idea this was going on. And these are my soccer moms, they don't know. But we're so plugged in. And you guys, our lions in the audience, that watch we're so plugged in. I don't think we realize there are a good amount of people who don't realize this stuff is going on.
That's so true.
I can see that. I understand that. I agree with you.
That's so true.
And in some way, we don't have the luxury to not be plugged in anymore. But in some way, I can appreciate that. Again, because I've said for a long time, our country was never set up for us to be only focused on all of this stuff, this politics, whatever. We were set up to live our lives as Americans, raise your families, go to the soccer games, go to work, go to church or synagogue. This is what we were, have gatherings, have the cookouts, right? This is what we were set up to do, not to be 24/7 inundated with the destruction, really, of our country, the destruction and the innocence of children. This is not, so in some ways, I can understand why they may not be plugged in, but we really don't have the luxury to not be anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny that you said that, KJ. Like I posted because we you guys, this is what we do. So we look at both sides of the media. Like we look at Jason Whitlock and Tucker Carlson just the way we look at Roland Martin and other like the Charlemagne's. And I posted something about Maxine Waters and like so Maxine Waters. Roland Martin asked her what the answer to the housing crisis was because, we have all these issues with housing crisis. And she says Section 8 is the answer. I swear to God. So I sent it to like somebody who's very, very close to me. And the person watched it and she just was like, what? And so I had to break it down she was like, oh yeah, that's stupid. But people don't. They listen, and the person said to me, we hear that stuff all the time, and I didn't know there was anything wrong with what she said.
Right.
She was like, I had no clue that the answer to housing crisis is not Section 8. Like if you're not into it. And so, like, you're right, KJ. Like, these people are they're so bogged down with their own lives that they're just not phased or listening,
which is also part of the reason why I'm going to say they are easily manipulated with the lies. Why the lies can proliferate and they think that they don't know anything different. This is what they were told. This is what they believe. So again, I guess I'm going to say I have a little bit of understanding, maybe even grace, because some people are just ignorant, and I'm not using ignorant in a derogatory way. They just don't know.
Yeah. But you know what? And then this is what I said on my podcast too. It's a combination of one, they don't know, and two, they are blind to the truth. They just and so it's ignorance, and then they're being lied to as well. And but again, we can't, like someone said, we can't afford to not know. We can't afford to not know at this point. Because this is what they're hoping for. And this is what the enemy does. Satan comes to lie, steal, and rob, steal, and lie, and cheat and steal. He comes to manipulate. And so this is why we have to continue to pray. We have to continue to be aware, prepare, as we say here, or be aware and prepare for these things. But most importantly, to be aware. We have to, and sound the alarm to our friend. It's not, you don't have to be in your face with friends and family and things, but let's get to a point where they cannot say they don't know.
Yeah.
They cannot say we did not say. Just like COVID and the lockdowns where we were sounding the alarm about that, they can't say we didn't say. At least now we can say, I told you. A lot of people have come to me for things I said about, the vaccine and COVID and things like that. And it has come true. And then they say, you were right. You were right. So we do have to continue to push and to sound the alarm.
Yep.
All right. So we are at the end of our time tonight.
Yeah.
I am playing double duty with these comments. You guys, thank you. So you guys are talking a lot tonight. I'm trying to
love it. Keep it going.
We have another super chatter.
Oh, we do. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
Peanut the Great.
Oh, yes. Peanut the Great says,
Thank
I
you.
totally agree with Trump being the choice for the executive branch, but we can't forget about the judicial and legislative branches as well.
Yeah, judicial, we're good, but the legislative branch needs to go. These people are utterly idiots. They all need to go. I want all of them gone, except for Marjorie Taylor and Matt Gaetz.
Well, we might be different on that, and that's one of the things where we gotta be smart. We have to be smart. Listen, the country is not full of red. It's not full of MAGA loving, hardcore right, people. The country is a it's full of all kinds of people. There are some areas that are purple. There's, of course, some areas that are left. We are not going to win in places like Maryland, like New Jersey,
California.
We're not going to win with MAGA, hard red Republicans. But we may be able to get a Republican in there that may be right of center, you know, or maybe agree with Trump on some things, but not on the other things. And we cannot spoil it for them. And then, you know, by running people that are hard right, and then we lose the Senate and the House. And that's actual, you know, that may happen if we continue on down the road we're going on. That's what I fear. I don't want to lose the Senate and the House because we may have Supreme Court justices to put in place. Like you mentioned, Crystal, we the judiciary, the local judges, and things like that. So
what I will say, KJ, is Trump is as purple as this country needs to get. Period. So if you are more purple than Trump, then you might as well be a Democrat.
Well, definitely.
Yeah, I mean what the point to that what is the peanut? I think is that we've said before. I've said it before. We need to also not forget about the down votes, right, or the votes down from the presidential election, because those will have as much, if not more, direct impact on our lives as well throughout any presidency or any election. We need to think about that from the city or wherever you live, your county, the state, and then the federal level. Those votes, I mean, those people in office also matter as well, who we put in office.
Absolutely. I totally agree that. And we have something here going on right in Maryland now. Our old governor, Maryland, Governor Hogan, Larry Hogan, who I despise.
I'll never vote for that man.
Well,
ever.
He's running. He ran for governor. He won twice. He's a Republican. He's a Republican by name, at least. And he was very popular in the state amongst independents and some right-leaning blue dog Democrats. He was very popular, and Republicans were, at least for when he was governor. Well, he was popular. And so, but he became unpopular, of course, because he's a never Trumper. And
how he handled COVID, how he handled the pandemic.
Right. But now he is running for the Senate seat here in Maryland. As a Republican, he is running for the Senate seat against, and now we're talking about Maryland here. I don't know if we've had a Republican senator in a long time.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time, very long time. We have not had a Republican in that seat. It will be a huge flip for the Senate. No,
it won't.
Oh yeah, it would. It would. I mean, it would be a huge flip for the
Senate.
It would be.
Democrat. He's a Democrat. He's a Democrat.
We had a Democrat in that seat for many decades. And people are saying they won't vote for him. Like Crystal saying she won't vote for him.
Because he's a Democrat. KJ, Larry Hogan is a Democrat. I'm sorry. You two
according to my little research here, the last Republican senator was Charles MC Mathias in 1987.
Wow. That's a long time. And so, you know, again, I'm not a Larry Hogan fan. I'm not. Right. And if the polls were showing differently, that other people that are running as a Republican would even be close to beating the Democrat that is running, I would give them a chance. But they're not even close.
Nope.
And so he's
doing well. He's polling very well.
Polling like he would beat the Democrat person that's running now.
He's polling very well. So he's polling very well, and he hasn't even really been doing a lot of public speaking or whatever. He's polling very well. I am no Larry Hogan fan, particularly after his second term when the scamdemic and how he handled that and basically gave Republicans his finger, right? However, if he's what do you call it? Purple, if you want to call him purple, blue dog, middle of the road. he would be better than the Democrat that would be in the Senate of the United States Senate representing Maryland.
Giovanni said this, and it's so true. He said, MAGA is not hard right. It's just the brand that Trump created. We are not hard right. That's what I feel like MAGA has been lost at understanding. Like, make America great again. Right. Trump is as purple.
We agree, but we're talking about the down road.
He believes in, pro-life. However, he's not trying to push it down people's throat. He doesn't really, do the whole LGBTQ personally, but he lets them do their thing. He never put any legislation that banned them from doing their gay pride parades or anything. But what he is going to say is that, hey, watch the children. Like MAGA, to me, is what we need to be, and not these rhinos like Larry Hogan that says that they're Republican.
No, we agree with you in the ideal.
Everything in his voting, everything in his life, everything says that he is not a Republican. He's not a conservative.
No, that's not true.
Not right. And first of all, let's take, for instance, the lockdown situation. All right. Firstly, we were all against Larry Hogan. When he came out against DeSantis and said those things, I was done. Because I'm a DeSantis girl. But when you compare the way COVID was handled, let's say Gavin Newsom with California and in Maryland, even though Larry Hogan locked us down somewhat, he did not do as badly as Gavin Newsom and many of these other Democrat governors with these lockdowns.
Yes, he did, KJ.
But wait a minute, didn't we just also say that if we have choices, then the lesser is still better than the more evil? And didn't we just also say that? But we're talking about the down vote. We're talking about the down vote. You know that I was totally against Larry Hogan because I protested against the lockdowns on purpose, no mask. I went around many places with no mask. I protested down in Annapolis on the Capitol, the state Capitol grounds. I think twice we did it. But nevertheless, as much as I am angry and have been angry with Larry Hogan, not only that, the way he did Republicans with the last election here for governor, he literally basically, turned his ass towards us, right? Republicans. Again, I'm not saying
KJ.
But I can't say, I cannot cast and say that all of his policies have been bad for Maryland. They all were not.
What policy that Larry Hogan put together made Maryland a better place?
He stopped. He was a stand against having more taxes. So in that sense, he stood against the Democrats in the state capitol. He stood against them to not raise more taxes.
Taxes. Okay, sounds like a rhino to me.
Taxes are important. He pushed back on some of the crime bills. Those things are important too. On the local or state level, they are important too. We're not just talking about MAGA as far as President Trump. We're also talking about the closer things that are within 7 degrees to us as well.
The tree is known by its fruit, Shelley.
It was very helpful to have his veto power. He vetoed some crazy bills that our Democrat House and state legislature put forward. Without him, we'd have all kinds of crazy stuff going on in this state. Again, he is
like the stuff we have going now.
Well, because they own everything now. But
I'm talking about when he was in office. They started doing this LGBTQ thing in the school when he was in office.
A lot of it goes to the local level, but where he had the pen and was able to veto, he vetoed. He vetoed it. Again, he is a rhino. We're not arguing with you there. But as someone said, I would vote for a rhino over a leftist liberal.
I would too.
I won't. I
would too.
I will not vote for a rhino.
Not to mention, and we do have to move on to, I know a lot of Republicans that are running here in Maryland on the down ballot for city council, for the local board of education seats.
Right.
Do you know how it would help to have Larry Hogan at the helm of the Republican Party? It drives out Republicans, and then a lot of these down ballot Republicans that are running in the smaller elections would get a better jump. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you this is the case. This is what happens when you have a strong Republican running.
He's not a strong Republican, y'all. He's not
well liked here.
We're not in Maryland.
National. Here in Maryland, he is well liked across the board. So if he wins the primary for the Senate seat, and his name is on the voters card for the general, a lot of independent and people that generally would not vote, who will vote for him.
They're going to be on the coattails.
They're going to likely vote for the Republicans that are also on there that are down ballot to him.
Maryland Republicans are weird. I'm sorry. If you support and like Larry Hogan, you're not a Republican. I'm sorry.
What are the options then?
Get out of Maryland.
Okay.
Here we go back to Russia. All right. So, we have gotten to the end of our time, guys. Let me see. I'm trying to get everyone's comment in here, but we will continue. We'll respond once we get off of the show as well. But thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for our super chatters. We certainly appreciate you guys. Again, as we have said,
I think we have 3 more.
Let me see here.
Jude and Lap SWAT.
All right. Yep, we do. Thank you, TLF fan. Thank you.
Oh yeah, he was first, or he was first, and now he's last.
Oh my God.
And then we have Jude. You have Jude twice.
Yes, Jude. Oh my God, Jude. We thank you. This is the Jude show tonight, guys. He says, he says here, it's sad. Wait, let me see. Okay. It's sad that some of these Hamas-loving students will be in government in the future. God help us all. I think I got that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, yeah, we have another one. It says, KJ, you're not totally wrong, but remember that the more rhinos we have in Congress, the more power Dems have.
That's what we're dealing right now.
And then we have another one from Jude. Crystal is right again. Larry Hogan hates Trump and would vote with Dems against Trump. How is he a good choice?
Exactly.
There's Jude again. Oh, we talked about that one, right? And then we have Lab SWAT again. What's your take on the Planet Fitness incident in Anchorage, Alaska, 3 weeks ago?
Okay.
Oh yeah, those are all the comments. Those are all the ones.
Okay.
He's talking about the Planet Fitness when they allowed the gay they allow biological males to use.
Oh yeah. Don't go there. I didn't like it anyway when they had people giving people pizza while they work out. It's crazy.
Were they really?
Yeah, well, they was giving pizza. All right, guys. So we do have to go. Thanks again. We'll be back here on Monday night. At 8. Was it 8 or 9? Are we on Mondays?
9.
9 o'clock. 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Monday night. Check us out. Subscribe. Hit the notifications bell so you know when we go live. We love you guys. We love our Lions. Be aware and prepare. See you on Monday.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.